Hi there and welcome to Lorena's Labyrinth. My name's Anna Pirelli. The comments that you see here are my views, beliefs, opinions, and sometimes they are not even my fully formed views, beliefs, and opinions. However, they are my understandings. Please do retain an open mind and reflect on any of the content and your comfort levels. If your views differ, please feel free to leave a comment. Also remember, it is possible to disagree in respectful ways. My way is not necessarily your way and vice versa. You might also find that some of the content on this playlist in regard to spiritual or universal laws, it resonates with you, meaning it feels right to you, while other laws may not feel right or they may not feel comfortable. If this is the case, the information is either not right for you or it is not right for you right now, and it might never be right for you at any given time. It really doesn't matter. As an earthy and practical person, I can put my hand up with all honesty and say that I have at different times had the same feelings about some of the content in here. And with some of them, I still have a level of skepticism within my viewpoints, but I choose to retain an open mind about the things that I don't fully understand for a few reasons. Firstly, because I believe it would be supreme arrogance to think that we all know all of the answers while we have a body. And because what is right for one of us is not necessarily right or suitable for all of us, and I choose to respect the differences. Please do leave your opinions, beliefs. Feel free to argue the points in a respectful way with any of the content on the slides and even my interpretations. And if you feel that you can add clarity around some of the content, we would all love to see it. Thank you. For now, though, let's explore the laws.
All creation is governed by law. The principles that operate in the outer universe, discoverable by scientists, are called natural laws. But there are subtler laws that rule the hidden spiritual planes and the inner realm of consciousness. Contained within these laws, or conditions, is the true nature of matter. Knowledge of these laws has an effect upon the mental urges. Mind is the builder. Stay in full mindfulness of the application of universal law as related to self and to others, and know that in love all life is given, in love all things move. In giving one attains, in giving one acquires. In giving, love becomes the fulfillment of desire, guided and directed in the ways that bring the more perfect knowledge of self as related to the universal, all-powerful, all-guiding, all divine influence in life. Love is life. When we go back, merge with the God source, in some infinitesimal but profound way, we expand the mind of God. Our higher self always points the best and most perfect way, and it is ours to listen and choose or reject what we hear. It does not blame, but patiently tries again to show the perfect way, the loving way. All of creation pushes forth. We are ever becoming. Identity ever remains. Universal law number 40. The law of honesty. Recognizing, accepting, and expressing our authentic interior reality lies at the heart of honesty. Only when we are honest with ourselves can we speak or act honestly with anyone else. In the sense of integrity, honesty entails acting in line with higher laws despite negative impulses to the contrary. We don't need to be punished for breaking spiritual or higher laws. The act itself is the punishment and sets into motion subtle forces whose natural consequences we cannot escape any more than we are able to escape the force of gravity. When we let fear stop us from expressing our true feelings and needs, we are being dishonest with ourselves, and it costs us a sense of energy and spirit.
So I think clearly we can interpret this law as being more than a conversation about lying and deceit. You know, when we think about honesty from a third world earthly perspective, we tend to think about, are people liars? Are they deceitful? Well, obviously it's more than that. It's about being honest with ourselves. It would be very difficult to be honest with other people if we're unaware of ourselves and when we're denying aspects of who and what we are, and that includes our feelings. So a lack of personal honesty with self is not considered to be, as far as I interpret it with this law, something that requires any formal punishment, because primarily we're the ones that hurt if we're dishonest with ourselves. And so this is why we aren't subject to karma if we lack personal awareness or suppress aspects of ourselves. And I think this is because when we're not being authentic and when we're denying aspects of ourselves and our feelings, repressing them, it becomes very, very exhausting. And the repercussions of emotional suppression, of course, leads to that whole cognitive dissonance experience, compromised health and well-being, all of those kind of discomforting experiences and sensations. So people can feel smothered, they can feel that they don't have a voice, they may not even understand why they feel unhappy or what's going on, because sometimes they can repress those feelings down so far that they're living in a way that's inauthentic. So if we apply this to the modern context, I've got to admit that when it comes to the idea of self-expression, we see all over the media at the moment, well, I've got the right to be me, I need to be my authentic self, but they're focused on the external appearance. They're not actually focusing on what's going on internally. So to me, how you identify or display yourself or be true to yourself and be authentic is less about your presentation and more about authentic, honest, open, and transparent communication and expression with people. And of course, feeling comfortable to say how you feel and free to say, I'm not happy about X or Y, or I would feel more comfortable. The reality is too that when we're being authentic with ourselves, then we're being honest. We're not all comfortable in all settings and scenarios and with all people. So sometimes, you will have heard it as well. We hear it all the time, I'm not very comfortable, for example. I'm not very comfortable when you do or say X or Y. Now that person's expressing their truth, and good for them for owning it and saying that they're not comfortable. But where it becomes problematic might be when there is an expectation that that other person denies themselves to accommodate their personal needs. When we're talking about living from a space of love and compassion and care and respect for each other, it's fine to turn around. This is the way I said it's fine to turn around and say, look, I'm not comfortable with X and Y, but I would be more comfortable if you did P and Q, right? But we have to respect the fact that the other person, if they're being authentic to themselves as well, that they can turn around and say, oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry that you feel that way. No, I don't think I can do P and Q because that would compromise my own personal integrity and sense of self, I'm reminded here as I talk to this content that quite often when we're not comfortable with something, if we were put in this position, literally, we would probably respond with, I'm sorry, I can't do that because of X, Y, and Z. And once we start saying why we can't do it because of X, Y, and Z, we then go into that situation of explaining and justifying why we're making the choices and decisions we do. Now, my understanding is too that when it comes to healthy boundaries, within our social settings or whatever, we actually don't have to justify and make excuses as to why we're living the way we are or why we make the decisions we do. We just state our own comfort levels with kindness and respect to the other person. And, when we're honest, that makes us or puts us all into a position to be able to make informed choices about where we want to hang out in our personal life. It can mean the ending of relationships, but it can also mean ending in a positive and respectful way rather than trying to force people to be what they're not and then becoming disappointed because they don't meet our unreasonable expectations. I think where I'm going with this is I'm going to close off on this just with a little piece of information that I learned many years ago too, that when we talk about emotional expression, which is really good, If we have expectations for others to accommodate our emotional needs, then it becomes a little bit dangerous. You know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean. Dangerous in as far as we're standing on shaky ground, because people are who they are. And anyway, this saying, I remember, I'm just going to go for it. It must have been about 2004. I remember hearing somebody say, we all have emotional baggage. You know, once we've reached a point in our lives, we all carry baggage with us. But the point is, are we going to keep carrying it around with us, or are we going to park it somewhere? I think the quote was along the lines of, if you've got baggage and you're unwilling to carry it yourself, then just leave it on the baggage carousel, because I'm not carrying it for you. And this is what we get when somebody is emotionally expressing and saying, I'm not comfortable when you do X and Y, can you do P and Z or whatever, so that I'm happy. What they're doing is they're transferring and projecting their baggage onto other people to carry. Okay, we don't have to carry other people's baggage. That's a little unfair. We're already carrying enough of our own baggage without having to carry other people's on our back. That's the way I look at it. And I don't believe that it's unkind or unloving to say to somebody, no, I'm not willing to do that. Okay, because that's about being honest with you, and it's also allowing them the space to deal with their own baggage and work through it, and that's actually empowering. But I'm interested to hear what you've got to say, because of course we're all diverse in our opinions, thoughts and beliefs, so feel free to leave a comment. Take care. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.